Okay, so today we are going to be going through 5 factors that will help make you a better automotive photographer. And the first thing that I would recommend is to really get to know your settings on your camera. So what you want to do is understand how ISO, aperture, and shutter speed affect the exposure and be able to use them to the point that you no longer have to rely on your automatic camera settings and can proficiently use the manual mode to give you just the perfect exposure for the different conditions. And if this is something that you're interested in learning more about, go ahead and leave a comment and I will explain them for you and possibly make a video as well. Okay, so the second tip that I have for you is to try new angles. And when I first started photography, I took most of the pictures just from eye level at a 3/4 angle. And then gradually I learned that you can make the car look different and perhaps even more interesting if you try getting lower down to the car's level or even shooting from above the car. All in all you're doing is just trying new things and trying to make the photos different and give a unique perspective. Now, not all angles look good on a car, of course. I mean, unless it's a Wyra, in my opinion. Anyways, but my photographer friend Sean Grow, I think, says it best when he says that if you would think about painting or drawing a car from a certain angle, chances are it would be a great angle to take photos of the car at. The fourth tip is to get a good feel for natural and artificial lighting. So when it comes to shooting a car, there's many different lighting conditions that you can have. You can either be shooting it at night in overcast lighting, in bright daylight lighting directly under the sun, or you can be shooting it at soft dusk or dawn lighting right before or right after the sun has set or risen. And really, I would recommend, if you can, shooting at dusk and dawn because that gives you a really nice soft lighting. Also, shooting at night is quite cool because you can light paint. Shooting during direct daylight is difficult, and if you have to shoot during that time, I would recommend shooting directly in the shade. But ideally, you get to shoot in dusk and dawn lighting and produce great images that way. So the fourth tip is to add creative elements into the foreground and also the background. I love putting things in the foreground, like anything from foliage to the bumper of another car. I think it helps give the image a lot more depth and it puts the emphasis on the subject so that's just one example of kind of a creative element that you can add to a photo to make it stand out. Another example might be a reflection. If you have a puddle that you see on the ground in a neat location, you might have the car drive right up to the puddle and park it with the wheel turned out. And then if you go down to the car's height, that'll give you a really nice reflection of the car in the puddle. So the fifth tip is to choose a neat location. You know, in real estate, they always talk about how much the location matters in the value of a home. Well, I believe it also matters in making a great image, especially of a car. Now, it might be tempting when you're trying to get pictures of a car just to go into an empty parking lot. But if you take the time and scout out on Google Maps and look for a really cool location, chances are that that extra effort will pay off in the long run because you'll get a really cool backdrop. Now, of course, you want to look for something that complements the car, but overall, that makes the car shooting occasion so much more interesting when you have found a neat location. So thank you so much for watching and happy shooting.